Let's go.
Andy, you're muted, mate.
Good evening and welcome to this week's edition of the UFO Files, Episode 2, with myself, Abby Dent, and Martyn.
Now, Martyn Hicks is a member of the Plymouth. You've got me doing it now. The Plymouth UFO Research Group, and my old partner in crime on Lifting the Veil. We broadcast together for over 10 years, and Martyn was actually there to compile this report and this very, very amazing case that we are actually going to talk about today, which is very, very little known, which is the Cyprus Event. So I'd like to welcome Martyn to the show. Unfortunately, due to the Men in Black, his webcam's not working. So make what you want of that one. we are going to delve into this little known case. So I'd like to introduce Martyn. Hello, Martyn.
Hello there. It's great to meet you guys again, and thanks for having me on your show.
No, thank you for coming on.
Absolute pleasure. And it's great to share the airwaves with you again, mate. It's been a while.
It's been some years, hasn't it? Yeah, from our Dartington studio some time ago.
And the lockdown days. Now, the Cyprus...
Sorry to interrupt you. We actually had hauntings going on whilst we were broadcasting, didn't we?
We
at
did.
The Dartington studios. Things were going on whilst we were talking about hauntings. We had our own haunting.
And quite a few UFO sightings outside the studios as well.
Yes.
Crop circle. Yeah.
Yes.
Wow.
I know. Because on the Dartington land, there were crop fields. And yeah, we actually had a crop circle as well. So they were interesting times.
I've actually seen one crop circle.
Where was that?
So it's a long story short. I was driving down to Porton Down military experimental place.
Yeah.
And we're going down, I don't know where it was somewhere in the south of England. And we're going along the highway, and I was a passenger, so I was looking out the window. I could see a big crop circle in the field to my left, but because it was one of those where there's no stopping, you couldn't stop at all. You've got to keep going. So I'm like, no, like literally hanging out the window to have a look at it. I was gutted, absolutely gutted that I couldn't have a proper look.
What year was that?
Oh, so that was about 2014, 2015.
Right. Okay, I'm trying to think what one that would be. So it'd be north of Salisbury and probably south of Stonehenge.
Yes.
Trying to think. You think, Abby, what one that might have been?
Round about that area. I could have been the pyramidy one, the one with all the triangles, because that was I don't think that was in that area, wasn't it? Or was that Devices? We've seen that many crop circles.
Yeah.
One. I've seen part of one.
Well, that might change next summer, because we might just have to go Wiltshireing. It's been a while.
Yeah, it has. The magic of Wiltshire.
The magic of Wiltshire. Right, on to the Cyprus Event. Now, I remember we first broke this back in 2016, and Wyn Keach picked it up on Lifting the Veil. Now, it all started with a radio appearance on Radio Devon, didn't it, Martyn? Do you want to take it away from there?
Yes, so the Plymouth UFO Research Group, we are the oldest UFO group in the UK. It started in 1965. We're pretty much not really an active UFO group anymore because of the internet. The internet has really much taken over the investigative side now of UFO reporting. Anyone can report UFO now through all the various databases. You've got the UFO UK database on Facebook. So we've got some really good forums like that now where anyone can do this. So the chairman, Bob, in 1993, he did an interview with BBC Radio Devon. Afterwards, he was contacted by a retired regimental sergeant major who explained he's got something that he really does want to speak about, something that happened many years earlier. So Bob, very excited by this opportunity, thought brilliant. So he set up a date to do a full interview with this guy, We're going to refer to him as Steve, okay, because he obviously clearly wants to remain anonymous for obvious reasons. So we'll refer to the regimental sergeant major as Steve. So Bob did a full tape recording of the entire interview, and so what he then describes is what happened on a particular night in May 1971 in Cyprus. He was in charge of doing a night maneuver exercise across a part of Cyprus where he had to command a whole load of commandos from one part across to another. They have to move in silence as if it was like a real life wartime scenario. So he was in charge of this. He left one particular officer alone high up on this track to be stationed there, to be posted there, while the rest of them moved down to carry out the military exercise.
And how many were there, Martyn, in total?
In total, there was 1,200 commandos in charge. Steve was in charge of a smaller unit, but there were various units all doing this nighttime maneuver all at once across this area of Cyprus.
There was about 1,400 all in all, wasn't there, from the report?
1,400 commandos involved in this exercise, and one person was stationed alone. Now, when they're down doing the manoeuvres, they realised coming over a high ridge, a really bright light. At first, they assumed it was headlights of some very bright vehicle. He immediately radioed through, saying they've got to stop that vehicle coming through. How enough is it allowed to come through anyway? It then got brighter and brighter, and as it came over the ridge of the hill, it was rising up into the sky, and realised this is not clearly a vehicle. But it wasn't making any sound. It was not a helicopter, nothing conventional aircraft. There was no sound. It was pure brilliance of this light. It wasn't blinding like the sun, but he described it as the brightness of as the sun is setting lower in the sky.
Yeah.
So you could see it, not like the sunshine bright high up in the sky. It was he said he just couldn't get over the sheer brilliance of how luminous it was.
Yeah.
It then, so it was a sphere shaped, and it then moves slowly across the sky, and they all stopped their exercise and they're all just literally gaping up at the sky, observing this object silently move across. Now, at arm's length, he describes it as being the size of a golf ball. Now, in UFO terms, that is absolutely colossal. So if you imagine you stretch your arm out and you hold a golf ball and you put that up to the sky, it's massive. The vast majority of UFO sightings are probably smaller than a penny. If you hold a penny at arm's length, the vast majority are probably even pinhead at arm's length.
Yeah.
So this thing is absolutely colossal. Now, he is a trained observer in judging distances because he was a parachutist as well.
Yeah.
And he could not fathom out how far exactly. He didn't know whether it was 500 feet away or 1,500 feet away or 10,000 feet away. He just could not judge it. He said it was one of those bizarre, impossible scenarios. And he was trying to figure out exactly how far away is this object.
Yeah.
Could not figure out.
Wow.
Anyway, moved silently across. Now, around the perimeter of where all these military exercises were going on, you had professional photographers working for the military who were there to photograph the exercise. Of course, what they did is immediately turn their tripods up and they were photographing. And there were hundreds of rolls of film taken of this object.
Yeah.
So the object, and like I have to stress, it was silent. It moved out of the distance, out of the way. So it moved from west to east across the Cyprus island. I don't know if you can visualize the Cyprus island. It's sort of like longish, isn't it?
Yeah, it kind of comes down.
That's right. So it went west to east. As it got halfway across the island, it then changed direction and then went from north to south. So it then headed south. And then it went out of distance. unbeknown to him at the time, actually, I'll perhaps want to come on to this a bit later, but something happened as they observed this, but I'll come to this later. He was not aware of this at the time. So all these rows of photographs were being taken of the object. It moved out of sight. It was basically the whole talk of everything. When they finished, they carried on with their manoeuvring, their exercises, obviously quite shaken by what all that was about.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, they went back to their base and they're just talking about it all night long, and even the next morning in the mess, they were talking about it. Now, his commanding officer came in and he heard about it, the sighting, and he said officially it was the Mariner 9 probe, a NASA space probe that was sent up. Officially, that's what you all saw. Okay? Straight away, Steve, our regimental sergeant major, thought this isn't making any sense. That was not a NASA space probe. Now, the NASA space probe did launch that night, but it launched at Cape Canaveral in Florida.
Yeah.
Nothing at all to do with what this object that they saw in Cyprus.
Yeah.
Oh, it's like halfway around the world from Cyprus.
You know, it's about as convincing as the Rendlesham Lighthouse, really, isn't it? Let's face it.
Oh, yeah.
But they realised this was a mass sighting, so they had to put out some kind of cover story. That was perfect, because they knew full well NASA did actually fire off that particular probe on that particular night. So everything is nicely put to bed and we can all sleep easy again. So let's see. So it was our Steve, he was actually then in charge of compiling the report for their division for what was actually seen. So he had to compile all the reports from everyone who was willingly sending in the reports of what they saw. So that's how they figured out the trajectory that I was telling about went from west. They figured all that out from all the reports they collated. And he took in all the rows of film as well. So he had hundreds of rows of film of this, because all the professional film photographers that were there around the perimeter of the exercise, they all handed it in to him. And in the mess, a few days later, one of the guys who was one of the professional photographers there working for the military, he didn't hand in a particular roll of film, and he handed it to Steve and says, these are some of the photographs I haven't handed in. I'm going to leave it with you to do with whatever you will. Now, Steve held on to them all these years, and he gave them to us at Plymouth UFO Research Group when we interviewed him in 1993. So we can look at that in a bit, perhaps. Yeah. Look at the photographs now.
You got one up on there?
Yeah. So what I need to stress here is that what they all saw was a sphere of light moving slowly across the sky. What you're seeing here is time-lapse photography. So you're seeing the trail going across the sky as the object moved across the sky. So that's what you're seeing here. Now, in one of the photographs, you can actually see, this one here, across the bottom, that is actually one of the towns in Cyprus, down across.
The lights, yeah.
So you've got a little bit of scale there, maybe, with that.
That's massive.
Now,
huge.
Next thing I need to say about, do I bring this up now?
Yes, is this the guy that did the vamoose?
Oh, there's that as well. God, I forgot about that. So, let's back.
It's good job I know the case.
Whilst they were all observing this, the guy who was stationed alone up the hill, he basically deserted his post because he was really frightened at what he saw. He comes running to where all the military exercises are going on, saying, "What the hell's that? What the hell's that?" And they kind of understood. I don't think he did get disciplined, because I think under the circumstances they could fully understand. He was there all by himself. It would have totally freaked him out seeing this thing hovering over him across the sky as it did.
I mean, leaving your post as a British commander on manoeuvres, that's a court-martial offence. That's going to the glass house. That is proper charges.
Indeed, it is. I don't think any charges were brought against him under the circumstances. But yeah, you're quite right. So the official story was it was the NASA space probe Mariner 9. Now,
does that look like the NASA space probe to you?
I think we all know it's not that.
Yeah.
But here's the key thing. Several weeks later, his commanding officer called him in and said, look, you know that UFO we all saw? And he said, what UFO? None of us saw a UFO. It was that NASA space probe you told us. Yes, I know what I told you, but I've had it confirmed. It was a UFO that we all saw. And so Steve thought, oh, wow. Because he just dismissed it, or he just assumed it must have been the NASA space probe. But now his commanding officer, several weeks later, said, no, he confirmed it was definitely a UFO. Now, what he also told him was, at the time that they all observed this, 2 Air Force fighter planes were scrambled to intercept this object. Now, these were, it was 2 Lightnings, RAF fighting aircraft. Now, they are capable of doing speeds of 1,200 miles per hour.
Wow.
Yeah.
And his commanding officer told Steve they could not catch this thing. They had it in sight. They had it on visual. They could not catch it. It was moving that fast. Therefore, if you bear that in mind and how they saw it move across the sky, that would have made the object absolutely colossal and much, much higher up in the sky than they first realized. So this thing is truly colossal.
Yeah.
Moving at a heck of a speed, but at such a distance high up that the mind boggles really with this.
It does. I've never heard that bit before. Is that in our report, or is that the bit that there was you said at the bottom?
I'm sure it's all in the report that's on the Haunted Devon website. Yeah, I'm sure it is.
Yeah. Yeah. I just hadn't read that far down for a while.
But that just blows your mind when you,
and
especially when a commanding officer within the military confirms this is a UFO. Now, after all this, so we compiled this report in 1993. We listened to the full transcript, and then we put this report together. And this is a time, you've got to bear in mind, this is a time before the internet. So we did printouts, we did paper copies of these reports, and we sent them all out to all the UFO organizations around the UK. And we said, look, publicize this as much as possible. We want to spread this word as much as we can.
Can I just jump in quickly? Sorry.
Yeah, sure.
I've just got an image of the Mariner 9 space probe.
Right.
Yeah.
And so it says November the 13th, 1971. So that.
There you go. So
it looks like a ceiling fan.
It does.
Sorry, but yeah. There we have it.
Got one of them in the lounge. It does actually look like it.
I've got one right here behind me.
I don't think that was anyway. Sorry, carry on.
Not a chance. So we sent them all out to the UFO groups all around the UK. We said, look, publicize this as much as you can. We also went to the UFO magazine, which was at the time the only UFO magazine in publication in the UK. It was well stocked in all the newsagents, including W.H. Smith's. And we sent them the report with the photographs, thinking that this is obviously a major UFO case, and they will jump all on this. It'll be on the front cover. We got an acknowledgement letter back from them saying they've received it, and they said, watch this space. We kept looking into the magazine each subsequent month. No report of it whatsoever. So UFO magazine decided not to publish this article of this major UFO incident. Now, UFO magazine are there to promote ufology in the UK and across the broader spectrum of the globe.
You'd think.
you would think now straight away. This was me in the early 90s thinking, because I bought UFO magazine and monthly, and I was hanging on to every word that was printed. Thinking, oh wow. And straight away I had a huge wake-up call thinking, right, so they are picking and choosing what UFO reports to include, and major UFO incident like this they have chosen not to print. Why?
You've
So
got
straight away,
some sort of D notice on it.
Yeah, well, we now know. Well, oh God, no. Do I talk about this? This is another case where we got it confirmed about the D notice and stuff. No, I'm going to leave that. I'm sorry. I don't want to go into that now.
Oh, Martyn.
No, it's not right for this particular case.
Right. Okay.
We'll
get you on again.
All I'll say, it was a huge wake-up call for me about what goes into print and what doesn't, and what goes in the news and what doesn't.
Yeah.
So straight away I realised, well, UFO magazine, what the hell are they truly all about? Now, there was one UFO magazine called UFO Reality. We knew the two guys. They literally had a cottage at the bottom of Glastonbury Hill. They lived in Glastonbury, at the bottom of Glastonbury Hill, and they ran all their printing from that house. And me and Bob, we went up to visit them because they started their magazine in 1996. It was to rival UFO magazine, and so their magazine was called UFO Reality, and we gave them lots of our reports and they lapped it up and they said, this is brilliant. So they did a lot of the Plymouth UFO Research Group's reports, and they covered a bit on the Cyprus report. They didn't do the full transcript of the report, but they did some of it, and they printed one or two of the photographs. They did brilliant coverage of the genuine crop circle phenomena as well, and that would appear on the front page. Now, this magazine went on sale in WH Smith's and all the other newsagents all across the UK, and it overtook UFO magazine in sales. So the two guys that did this in Glastonbury, we would go up and visit them regularly because it wasn't too far from Plymouth, like a 2-hour drive or so. And they were so excited. They're saying, our sales are going through the roof of UFO Reality magazine. It's brilliant. It's amazing. After the 12th issue, WH Smith's pulled the plug on them, even though it was a highly rated, vast-selling magazine. They were fuming. They went to WH Smith's head office saying, what the hell's going on? You've admitted to us it's outselling all the other paranormal publications. Why are you stopping us? Why are you stopping the publication? They wouldn't give a reason. They said, no, we're no longer going to be publishing your magazine. So they carried on publishing the other magazines, but not UFO Reality. This was in 1997 now. It might have been into 1998, possibly.
So how long was this after they published the Cyprus event?
Perhaps 6 months, 3/4 of a year, maybe. Yeah. It wasn't just the Cyprus report, it was other reports as well, which we at PFOG deemed to be 100% genuine UFO phenomena. There was the Mexican case, which went on the front cover, absolutely brilliant. Again, we won't have enough time to talk about that. But another one, there was another one in Brazil. They published a photograph of that. They put that on the front cover. Absolutely amazing UFO sighting. And again, so another wake-up call for me. I think, okay, an authoritative, established organisation like WH Smith's, again, deciding what the public can read and what the public can't read. So straight away, I knew that there was major censorship going on way back in the 1990s. So are we on for half an hour? Because I'm aware
we're on as long as it takes.
Right. I just realised it's 5 to 8, and I've just rabbited it on.
No.
At least another 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So I mean, that's pretty much where I'll take that case as far as I think I can take it.
Well,
just any questions or
now, as well as obviously you've got the UFO magazines, you've actually petitioned Nick Pope and the MOD over this as well, haven't you? For the release of these files.
Right. Okay. So in terms of the Cyprus report, it did. We know it went to Nick Pope, and he was at the MOD at the time. He was running the so-called UFO desk, which we can all have our opinions on that, what that was all about. So I met Nick Pope one Saturday night. We came away from a paranormal conference in Wiltshire. What was the town? You know the town, Abby. It was the town you had that weird, strange...
Warminster. Yeah, can't do Warminster.
Warminster, yeah. Obviously a UFO hotspot in itself. So.
Yeah, we've had some experiences, me and Martyn, over the years.
Yeah. So as soon as we hit Warminster, you had that funny spell, and as soon as we got to the other side of Warminster, you were absolutely fine.
Yeah.
But I met Nick Pope. Was at it's a paranormal conference, talked about ghosts, UFOs, hauntings. So we did a pub crawl afterwards, and I didn't hold back. I approached Nick Pope and I explained to him I'm from Plymouth UFO Research Group. Straight away, I saw his eyes like kind of lit up, but also he had a very perplexed look on his face. Yeah. So I said to him, "Look, what about this Cyprus report we sent to you back in 1993?" And this was much later. It was in the 2000s. I think it was 2009. And so the MOD had published all their archive material and what they had on UFOs, and the Cyprus report never showed.
No.
So I confronted him about it, saying, "What on earth has happened with the Cyprus report? We sent a brilliant report. Clearly, this was an MOD report that was compiled, which we know the MOD must have and have rows and rows of film, yet it's never been mentioned in any of the MOD archives." And he wouldn't really talk about it. You kind of like laugh it off and just wouldn't talk about it at all.
Yeah.
So that was the Nick Pope situation on it. He didn't really have any comment to make about it, even though we know full well he knows all about it. So, yeah.
Win Keach has followed it up as well, because after he, as I say, I think we first did a full show on it in 2016, didn't we, or 2015, and Win Keach picked it up and started publicising it. Now he's actually the files for 1970. Here we go. 3 photos that were produced, as you can see. At the time the photos and the interview were conducted, Pewford contacted the Ministry of Defence in the UK to see if they could obtain any further information on this event. After all, Steve had told them that all he had collated lots of reports and photos, and later that the Colonel had confirmed that it was a UFO. The reply from the MOD was the files for 1971 would have been sent to the Public Records Office a long time ago and are all covered by the terms of Public Records Act, remaining closed from the public for viewing for 30 years after the last action was taken. Now, it's 50 years since this has happened. And of course, 30 years have passed, nothing's gone on. Nothing has gone on file that year with, and everyone's been through the actual UFO drop with a fine-tooth comb, and it's just not there. It is just not there. And he says here, Win Keach doesn't agree with Dr. Clark that we're relying purely on mentions from one individual, a witness, and correlated rumours. It is an actual massive case that the MOD has actually kept under wraps. And the fact that they are not releasing the files will only fuel speculation in some quarters that the MOD has not released anything that is in actually any kind of substance within the UFO files, and that some sort of cover-up is in place.
Yep, good on Win Keach.
So he picked up the baton for us.
Yeah, good on him.
Good on him, but yeah.
So why do you think it's not been spoke about? Is it because there's so many military personnel that was involved with it? Or
yeah, I think it's that. I think it's purely because there were 1,400 commandos. Oh, another thing I forgot to say, it wasn't just those that observed it. It was all the town, Cyprus. Yes. They all reported it. It was actually talked about on the radio.
Wow.
Yeah.
On the local radio in Cyprus, but it never made the news anywhere else in the world. It was all very much confirmed.
Yeah.
They put the kibosh on it.
And you don't see it in any UFO documentaries either. And you think it would. I mean, with the Phoenix lights and stuff like that, you'd think now that the Cyprus Event or the Cyprus Report would actually come out now. I mean, this is why we're talking about it, because as Andy said, there is no disclosure. We are the disclosure.
Yeah. Gotta be. No one else is going to do it. But got a question. Sorry, go on.
It would have made it onto Reddit, Martyn. 6 months ago, it made it onto Reddit.
All right, there you go. Words get
in there.
Yeah, no, I was going to say, I mean, I agree with what you said there, Andy. It's the sheer volume of military personnel that saw an object. If they were to make this public, in effect, it's the MOD announcing the reality of UFOs. And I don't think our authorities want us to know the full truth on the reality of UFOs in 2025. Yes, I know there are lots and lots of documentaries now on mainstream television, which certainly was not the case in 1993 when I was doing this report. And we're sending it all out to our local, all the UFO groups around the UK. But now there is this huge proliferation of UFO documentaries pretty much everywhere. But for some reason, they just do not want to pick up on this particular case.
It just keeps getting silenced, doesn't it? I mean, we've tried to get it out. I mean, we did it on our show and Winkeech picked it up. But apart from that, and it's made it onto Reddit via Winkeech. And with the replies that have come off this, there's so many comments on this saying, like, some people are saying this is the first time hearing of this case. I saw a blacked out triangular object fly over us when we were last in Cyprus, maybe 15, 16 years ago. I had an orange light in each corner and I could tell it was a solid triangle. It was blacked out as the night sky and flew over us, completely silent. And we were close to the Anchortory. I can't even, don't ask me to for words.
Right. We've got a question. So
go on.
Just run that. So this is from Wayne. Obi-Wan Kenobi, but it's called Wayne. Can't be bothered. Fire Spirit. So he's asking, was it the hills above Paramali Village by any chance near Limassol RAF Akrotiri?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's heard of, obviously, he knows a lot of detail.
What you're not telling us, mate. Come on, Wayne, still.
Good one.
But I mean, people are saying that they live in Cyprus and they're still seeing things. So the comments on the Reddit thread, they're quite engaged with this actual event. So it does seem to be picking up now, and I'm glad, because it needs to get out there. We need to start seeing the Cyprus Event on UFO documentaries. We need to start having other people discuss it, and we need to start putting pressure on the so-called UFO desk and disclosure to actually know it's 50 years now. Release it. We know what's happened. We've got the report off the colonel, so you might as well just come out and release it.
Yeah, exactly. That's interesting about the Black Triangle, because that's exactly what we saw, Abby, in Wiltshire, wasn't it? Many years ago, the Black Triangle hovering over us.
that was the 2013 second night after the Ark of Shepherdwood by Silbury Hill, and we were literally slept in the car park in Silbury Hill. I remember it was your old car and it had a sunroof, and I was like, Martyn, is that a triangular UFO? And you were like, no, it's just stars. And I was like, no, it's moving. With that, as it moved across Silbury Hill, I got squished up against the passenger window as you were looking at it.
Oh no, I'll never forget that. Apologies, Abby. But
I'll tell you, the great times, Martyn. That year in 2012, my God, that's all I'm saying. I'm hoping next year is going to be a year like that, but I've never known anything like it. And I think you were the same, weren't you? You were just like, what the hell? Yeah,
so I was going to Wiltshire every summer since the early 1990s, but that particular year was unlike anything else I've experienced in my life. It was unbelievable, absolutely unbelievable. We haven't got enough minutes to go into that, sorry.
Oh, well, you are more than welcome to come back on and talk more about other events and accounts.
Yeah, and any Pewfog footage you want us to showcase, get it over, and we'll get it up for you guys. You know, it's been an ambition of mine for years to digitize and get the Pewfog archives out online. It's been something I've wanted to do through the Haunted Devon site for years, but we've just not managed to be able to do it. So if this is a way of getting that UFO information out there, I am all for it.
Yeah, do it.
There was one report I did in 1994. Me and Bob, the chairman of Plymouth UFO Group, we went to do an investigation. As we drove away, this is in North Devon, as we drove away back to Plymouth, we both thought, let's not actually do a physical report on this case because no one on earth is going to believe what happened. But it was probably the most bizarre UFO report I've ever seen or read in my entire life. And I had a fortune to actually interview the one person who witnessed it, but she witnessed it with her mother. But we couldn't interview her mother because she was very frail, very elderly.
Yeah.
But it was the most bizarre UFO encounter you could ever possibly imagine. We thought at the time no one would ever believe this, but perhaps if I am again on a future show, perhaps I will discuss it there.
Oh, most definitely, Martyn. You're always welcome, mate. Always welcome.
Definitely.
Yeah. So, Andy, what do you make of the Cyprus event?
So because the amount of people, the amount of military, for a start, that's phenomenal on its own. Yeah, it's all the way across Cyprus because I've been to Cyprus and know you've got the north and the south. Like, is it UK and Turkey? Pretty much. Is that how it is now? I don't know if it was then. I went about 10 years ago, but it's not a massive island either. And it's just, I don't know. I think it's just the amount of people that seen it, and like you said, the residents or holidaymakers that were there as well at the time, everyone was witnessing it.
Yeah.
So why has there not been any like formal, not investigation, but any formal like show done on it? Because like Abby said before, you've got the Phoenix Lights, you've got I can never remember the name, but the school in Zimbabwe, all them kids that seen the big UFO that came over, and the other different stories to what happened. So you've got
the
all
Welsh
them.
one as well. That's well
School, yeah.
Obviously Roswell. Yeah, you got Roswell. You've got there's loads of them that are documented 24/7. And this one has had absolutely nothing. I'd not heard of it until Abby mentioned it the other day. I'm like, don't know what you're talking about, but I'll go with it.
I said it was a good one. It was a good one.
But it's just the amount of people. It's the amount of people that have witnessed it, and nothing's been said or done.
Yeah, but maybe that's because
that makes no sense.
I agree.
What was going on geopolitically? Obviously, the 70s is before, just literally 71's just before my time. What was going on geopolitically back then? I mean, would there be any reason why Cyprus, it would have been a bit hush-hush?
No, I mean, early 70s, it was all the oil, wasn't it? And you had all the power cuts going on in the UK because of oil shortages coming out of the Middle East.
Yeah.
But I can't really see why that would really still impact on events that's going on in Cyprus. Yeah.
I know. So there we go, guys. I've actually put the link to the Haunted Devon page where we've got the full report and the photographs on there. And Andy, if you shall I just pop these photographs up before people go again, or have you got them?
Oh, I can put them on.
There's one I've enhanced.
Is that the last one that I've not put that on yet?
Yeah, I think that's the last one. Yeah. And that's the one I've enhanced, I think it always, yeah.
So this one, so you can see the lights at the bottom. That's one of the towns or villages.
Yeah.
So you can see like a scale. You can scale it as to the size of the area.
No, that is massive. Yeah, that's the one I've enhanced.
But then there's this one.
That's it. That's the one I enhanced. You can see 2 white dots at the top here as well, at the top of the photograph.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Now, that's another thing actually I haven't mentioned. I need to perhaps explain this as well. When they were observing this object, Steve said it was very hard to explain, but he was aware that not only was he observing this brilliant ball of light, but he was also aware of other lights within the main ball of light. He said he knew how bizarre this sounded and how utterly ridiculous that sounded, but he was aware of smaller lights around the much larger light. But that's, again, it's all part of the strange phenomenon of UFOs, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, did any of the men actually experience anything else while they're out on maneuvers? Because as we know, UFO activity does tend to spark off other kinds of activity, whether it's paranormal or things like that. Was anything else mentioned or going on?
I'm sure there probably was, but if it was certainly wasn't reported on what Steve reported to us at Pewford, but I am absolutely sure there would have been things going on as well. And you know me, Abby, I strongly link ufology with ghosts and hauntings and apparitions. I think the two are so closely connected. I really do.
We've had too many experiences not to.
Yes. I'm with you on that one.
Yeah, of course, Abby, we interviewed Andrea Perrin. I mean, the revelation she came out with on our Lifting the Veil show we did many years ago. Andrea Perrin from The Conjuring, and the revelation she told us, my God. And if ever you looking for a link between ufology and hauntings and ghostly apparitions, there you go. Listen to that show from Lifting the Veil.
The UFO stuff they used to get. I mean, with Anne Andrews as well, with Jason, the poltergeist activity they used to get in the house and that, and with Mike Oram as well. All the things he used to get, and so wow.
We'll have to get Martyn on the Friday night show.
Oh yeah, definitely. We're gonna bypass the security services so your camera works next time. So
Apologies about that. It's so weird. I say the camera works all the time, and for some reason it's just not working here with this.
They know what
they know. I put it out today that we're going to be talking to you about the Cyprus event, so you know the sort of stuff we used to get. I mean, what was it? The 2012 UFO incident at Wiltshire. We spent that whole episode, and when we actually got up to what happened on Hack Ben Hill, all the listeners were messaging us in going, the feed's gone dead, and it went dead for 10 minutes. As soon as we stopped talking about the UFO, the radio broadcast came back on again, didn't it?
Yes, that's true.
Yeah. Someone cut you.
They cut us. Not the first time either.
No. Hasn't been. I'm glad we got through pretty much well tonight, unscathed, I hope.
Yes. Oh, good ear.
Thank you so much, Martyn, for coming on tonight. It has been amazing speaking to you again, and it's been amazing to hear the report again. Now, just to confirm, that Martyn is actually reading from the original compiled report right now.
I've got it in front of me right here. It's all in memory anyway. I didn't actually need to glance at it. I've got the photographs as well, taken from the original negatives. They are, I've got 4 or 5 photos there on the original negatives that were taken.
Oh, you send those over to me, Mark. Take a picture.
Yes.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Thank you, Martyn, for coming on. Absolute pleasure. And great hearing the case.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's been good. I'm glad I came on.
Yes, me too. I think everyone in the chat is as well. So
they've loved it. I'm just reading it back. It's like great guest, great info. Yep. So yes.
There are so many more fantastic cases within the Plymouth UFO archive. I mean, Abby, you know one of them. You also interviewed the guy in Torquay with Roy Dutton. That again was one of the best UFO cases.
Yeah,
happened just at Paynton with the Rolls-Royce engineer. One of the most amazing UFO cases I've ever come across. Absolutely outstanding. He took us to the spot where it happened. Phenomenal. Yeah. We might have to talk about that on a future time.
And the lights over Callington as well.
Yes, of course.
I think we're going to be doing this for a while, don't you?
Oh, I told you, Martyn is a walking, talking, experienced encyclopedia. You want to talk UFOs? He's your man.
This is what we need. This is definitely what we need. So thank you again. It is a lot shorter on a Monday, just to keep everything running smooth and what have you. So we will be back on Wednesday with Paul Roberts, I think his name is, and he's going to be talking about what he does, what he's encountered, and all these paranormal goings on. We are back on Friday with.
Is it Gwen?
I ain't got a clue. Michelle Gray.
Michelle Gray.
So Michelle Gray, she's in Texas. She was doing the live remote viewing, even though we didn't realise that was going on at the time when we was doing the cemetery in Manchester.
Oh, yeah.
There's 8 of us. There's Darren, me, the girls, Simon, and we was just Nicole. And just everything was going off, and it was just chaos, but in a good way. So Michelle's going to come up back on Friday, and then we will be back next Monday with Michelle Liddell. She's going to tell us about her one and only UFO encounter.
Fantastic.
So that is everything. Is there anything you want to add, Martyn, before we come to an end?
Nothing from me. Just thank you again for having me on the show. It's been wonderful, and hope your viewers got something out of it tonight.
Definitely.
Yeah, definitely.
With the chat, definitely. They're loving it.
100%. Yeah, definitely. Right, so that's it. We're going to shoot off. Keep looking in the skies for UFOs. Don't get abducted. And if you do, make a report and come on here and talk about it.
Oh, and yes, Sober, thank you very much. It's arrived. I'm very happy. Thank you very much.
Cool. Right, on that note, we're going to go. So see you in 2 days. Take care. Bye for now.
Goodbye.